Hello everyone. I had some really cool findings today. It's always fun researching and searching. I am an analyst at heart. Anyways, today's topic surrounds language, communication, and behavior. But we're going to talk about this in a different sense. I will apply it to the vaccination debate because I just discovered that there's a strong relationship, long-term relationship between current administration and Autism Speaks, which has a very, very, very bad reputation, especially by those on the spectrum. Some describe it as a type of eugenics, but that's too much. We don't need to go that far, right? Anyways, so it seems that recently, about a week ago, I noticed on LinkedIn that Autism Speaks said that vaccines do not cause autism. But in discovering this alliance, it was a bit shocking because I see the recent trends where certain parties are developing some type of anti-vaccination stance or a link between autism and vaccines, which would mean a causal relationship. I highly doubt that anyone will find solid studies because there are two different ways that we may think of it as medication or drugs or pharmaceuticals, but there are biologics and there are drugs, right? So NDAs are new drug applications and BLAs are biologic license applications, and they are two very different processes. Now, both are supposed to rely on some sort of clinical trial studies. It seems that NDAs now may only need one, and BLAs, well, it claims they need many, but really it's talking about the safety, the purity, and other things, right? So, but the safety is not with double-blind, controlled, randomized trials, right? I pretty much think that the reason that there's no requirement to do so is because the things that are coming to the market, wherever they are coming from, that would be a major ethical violation to even attempt to do such, right? So anyone going back, let's say, for example, Robert F. Kennedy, who's supposed to be the new head of Health and Human Services, right? Yes. So he's supposed to be going back and evaluating research on a possible causal link. The new proposed head of the FDA, he's like, maybe, I may challenge how these things are done. Do I think that anything will change or any of this relates to positive outcomes? No, because like I said, language, communication, and persuasion, that's behavior. And my specialties are language, communication, and behavior, right? So apparently a lot of these things are falling into my domain. Yes, and I am not impressed. I am not impressed with persuasive media, nudge theory, blah, 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 because pretty much many look like amateurs, and they do not even have the sense of totality of a picture to try to protect contradictory agendas, right? So about 4 years ago, there was Operation Warp Speed. And this is where vaccinations for COVID were passed through the FDA, which governs food and cosmetics, yes, but also biologics. Okay. To be able to be delivered to millions of people. A lot, okay? On March 13th, 2020, the COVID pandemic was declared a national emergency. On March 13th, 2020, my oldest son, diagnosed with autism, was sent home from his public university to go online fully. There was no face-to-face, no more services. Now, the dorms were open and the food services were open, but the classes were not to be held anymore. Possible motivation? I don't know, just a guess. So, same date, right? But my younger two children, who are in high school, local, public, their schools, they went on. Here, where I live, everyone still went to school. Yep. Maybe they had to wear a mask, but school's in session. No problems whatsoever. So, let's think about the possible motivations of why someone or anyone, right, who could go from fast tracking vaccines, get it fast, give it to millions and millions of people, right? Because we need to protect against this scare, to now, vaccines cause autism. So we're going to appoint this, okay, pretty much everyone in politics, they're salesmen. They're schmoozing, they're media, whatever. Like Autism Speaks. I mean, the founder was the head of NBC, okay? So we know that, I mean, pretty much that was just a news agenda, yeah? Because guess what? When something's in the news, I mean, even if it's a debate, right, between vaccines do not cause autism, right, or vaccines do cause autism, you know what the debate does? It's an influence of market trends. So instead of anyone going back like Mr. Kennedy, whatever, to try to find evidence of causal links, then maybe others should go back and track the market trends, of all of this, because that's where it lies, because it is not in coming to a conclusion. I am quite certain that nothing will change as far as in the vaccination industry for as long as I live, but I'm pretty certain that there could be debates every 4 years to whatever media speaker, pretender out there who's just saying things without any background knowledge is there to deliver. Yeah, it's not going to happen. But here's something that I did notice in looking up or researching or reading about these current trends, okay? So, one of my specialties is, and I'm talking with children, yes, adults, whoever, is identifying the motivation behind a behavior. Why is someone doing something, right? So, it's very interesting that in this current new, potentially, vaccines cause autism propaganda, is that defunding schools, this is one position, that defunding the schools that mandate vaccinations, that's one possible thing that I can do. So let's think, defunding schools, meaning public, yes, that mandate vaccines. So, the motivation is to defund public schools, right? Defund public schools. That's very interesting because we see what's going on with the Department of Education. So, defunding schools that mandate vaccinations. Defunding schools, okay? You have to see the motivation. And the other thing, or several things, is what is this debate attempting to solve, resolve, or change? Absolutely nothing, because the current views or the current intentions of government are to move special education to HHS, which is Health and Human Services, which is a Kennedy, right? Who is in charge of the Children's Defense Fund, but says it's impeding my ability to get accepted onto the position that I want, right? Of BS. It's a position of BS. Yeah, because you guys don't do anything. Also, current intentions are to cut health insurance benefits for children or people or adults with disabilities. Cut health insurance benefits, okay? To eliminate worker protection. That's another one. That's the goal. To restrict disability benefits. I mean, come on. Wow. It's like, how screwed are you if you have a disability? And fifth is to reduce the ability to enforce ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act. So if that is the goal, that is the motivation, that is the intention of government, then why go on with this debate or say so-and-so is going to do this research to evaluate such? I highly doubt it, because guess what? Already, right, I have a child diagnosed with autism and 2 other children. And so, okay, is it correct? Is it ethical? Is it right for public health records, etc.? For a second, let me digress, because there are actually people who claim to be doctors of psychology who are using computer programs to diagnose autism. Okay, number 1, you're an idiot. Number 2, you're an idiot. Anyways, so back to my little story. Insurance, right? Health insurance, basic health insurance. So I have 1 child who's diagnosed with a disability, 2 children who are not. And never mind, I'm not even going to mention it. So one day I get an email from the health insurance initiative that's supposed to be like free or something by the government. You are all a bunch of, never mind. You should be ashamed, like really ashamed. But the email was addressed to me and my 2 younger children, not to my oldest child. And it's like, is he being excluded because of a disability? Wow. So that's how it's going to work, right? Like I said, we have to challenge those who claim to have authority. They're all on the BS bandwagon, seriously. And I can tell you, okay, you have these different levels of government, and these people said to represent these commissions, and who are the heads of a state, or, I know, but regardless, or Congress, or the Senate, or the president, the vice president. Hey, baby. Sorry, this is patchouli. They are getting information from algorithms, likely, that are just saying what the public wants to hear, or how to cause divide between the public. They have no idea what they're talking about. And I can also say I am not impressed with their expert staff and what they are saying. This is all a game. a game? Maybe it's game theory of politics. So many things. But I guarantee you that no one is looking out for your interests. No one is looking out for the interests of your child. No one cares about education. No one cares about healthcare. No one cares about insurance. No one cares about rights in the work environment. No one cares about any of these things. It's a show, right? All the world's a stage. Right, Patchouli? Yes. And that is what it looks like to me. So, I invite you to do your own research, and I spoke about this before. Second, we allow what we allow. If we accept this, it shall be, right? Right. And also, look into and compare the new drug applications and the biologic license applications because, well, truly at this point, I don't think either are following any rules or regulations because, of course, the governmental Department of Efficiency, right? They want to do away with regulations altogether. Yes. Yes. Hi, baby. So much fun, but game on. Come on, people. Get on it. All right. I'll talk to you soon and have a great rest of your weekend.